I'm in the bath, so I like the lights off sometimes. But it allows me to share. And image isn't important, it's the words. We have positioned ourselves, or if you think of yourself as a dot, a point in time and space, just this little point, that's your consciousness, that's your understanding of what you are, that's your frequency, right? As you start to expand your consciousness, your concept of what you are, that expansion extends beyond that dot. So think of your body, that's the concept of you right now. That's your understanding of you. But as your consciousness and awareness begins to grasp reality in greater depth, that dot begins to grow, and it grows into a bigger point, a bigger dot. And that's perpetually and eternally expansive. So if we think of ideas as energy, because everything's energy, thoughts are energy, your energy, it's all really one, to be honest with you. But it's beyond your comprehension when you're trapped in the mind of the ego. But as you expand this frequency, this energy, that field expands. And as that field expands, other energies that were beyond the comprehension of that dot begin to enter the field of energy. These ideas, these concepts. Everything's one. But you're not ready to grasp and understand some of these things. You're not ready to hold some of these ideas. And these ideas can't come into fruition because you're not in a place where your mind will allow you to take that idea and make it real. Ideas aren't owned. Everything is one. Ideas are collective. But when others expand to a place that they not only have the idea, because many people have concepts of ideas, but they aren't in a place where their mind allows them to take it to fruition, it creates blocks. But other people are aligned. Other people's frequencies have expanded to the point that they don't have those mental blocks. They don't have that limited capacity. And they are able to take those ideas to fruition. But ideas are just concepts. It's all one. Remember that. It's all one. You don't have ownership of anything. You have perceived ownership. In this world, we have perceived ownership. We've created little pieces of paper, titles, deeds, little things that say we own things, but we don't really own anything. It's all an illusion. But as you expand this consciousness, your frequency, more and more beyond the self, the concept of self, you expand into greater and greater ideas, greater and greater energies, which are set at different frequencies, greater and greater concepts of your own life that you have limited with your concept of self. Oh, I don't deserve to live in that house. There's no way I can afford that. There's no way I can do this. Those are all concepts, ideas that are limiting your reality, your access to these energies, these lives. But as your consciousness expands, those ideas, concepts, beliefs enter your energetic field. And you're no longer limited by beliefs that say you're not allowed to have that. This expansion is eternal. It doesn't stop. You keep on expanding until you're everything. until you're everything one with God. The ego exists inside a concept. The ego can never be one with God. Your concept of self will never be one with God. It's impossible. It's a finite point with limited beliefs and ideas. That ego, that belief of what you are, can't be one with God. We're all just reflections of God's consciousness, concepts, ideas. If you think of a projector, the light, which is God, has to go through a lens which creates the focus. The lens is what you are. You're taking the energy, the consciousness of God, and you're focusing it through what you are, a lens, with your attention into a particular idea, perception. And that perception is limited and distorted by belief. The clearer the lens, the clearer the projection. God is just love and light. Love and light. God is also the contrast, because that light only reflects onto certain parts of the screen. God is also the screen. So you have this contrast which creates an image of the light, but you can't have light without the dark. And so we have this separation of light and dark, and that's the experience of life. That's the experience of life, but it's all one. I can't be me without the other thing to show me that I'm me. I can't be light without the dark in my life. Whether it's in myself or whether it's shown to me by others, it creates the contrast. As we expand our energetic field, that lens becomes clearer and clearer, and the distortions are removed, and we can see clearer and clearer the contrast of light and dark, the play, the dance. The experience becomes more in focus, easier to see. It gets more and more beautiful as you start to see what life is, what God is. When you start to realize and understand that you were never, ever, ever alone. The light was always in you. It's just distorted, it's covered by trauma, by beliefs, by thought. But it never left you. God has always, always been with you, experiencing all of it with you. Experience the contrast of life, the dark, the light. Through your pain, through your joy, God's been there. But when you start to create clarity, you start to see that God has never left. And that's a beautiful realization, to know that God has always, always, always been with you. Through the heartbreak and through the happy times. God never left you. God doesn't sit in heaven apart from you. God is experiencing life through you. In love, in light, in knowing.